Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us on Cool FM Live for our Cochise County football sports recap preview show. I'm Dave Davies. That's Paul Pizzy Quarter. This is brought to you by Synergy HomeCare.
And Synergy HomeCare provides non-medical in-home care for people that struggle with activities of daily living. So if it's tough for you to get up in the morning, get changed, you'll use the restroom, or even get groceries, give them a call today at 520-685-1035. Synergy HomeCare, care that moves you.
And we are here at soon-to-be renamed Sierra Vista Golf Club at Pueblo del Sol Golf Course. Pretty gorgeous out there. It's available to non-members. I was out there yesterday. I lost the ball at 9. If you find a brand new Callaway, it's mine. Come on out here and play some golf today.
Well, and it was the tee times were going off, and now it looks like it's cleared up. So you guys got free reign to come up here and get some quick golf in.
As the Disney chicks would say, wide open spaces. Pueblo del Sol today. So come, and it is not 100 degrees anymore. It is perfect. Come on out here and enjoy some golf. So we finally got our football season. This, by the way, this is live and interactive. Jump in the chat, say hello, say good morning, say whatever you want.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
But yeah, we finally got football underway. We finally got to do a game last Friday. We were out in Elfrida, Valley Union, until they lost that heartbreaker to Desert Heights Prep. But yeah, we had some football. So what do we got?
Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to recap the few games that went off on high school football. You've got 3 questions for me. We're going to update the rankings, and then Dave is going to give a diatribe, which I can only assume the way he feels today is going to be a one you don't want to miss. But let's start off with the game we were at, the Valley Union Blue Devils hosting the Desert Heights Prep Coyotes. And Dave, the loss 36-40, that was a game I think Valley Union's going to feel like they let slip away.
They 100% are going to feel that way. Valley Union was completely in control of that game for the majority of it. It was running versus passing. Valley Union they couldn't stop the Desert Heights couldn't stop the run.
I got the numbers for you.
What's that?
I got the numbers for you. Don't worry.
Yeah, Valley Union couldn't stop the pass, so it was a back and forth affair. But Valley Union was in charge of it the whole time. They had 2 possessions, both of them inside the 50-yard line. Get a touchdown for the win. They were unable to pull it off. Heartbreaker for Valley Union.
And we have to say Valley Union was missing superstar quarterback Dylan Mitchell on that one.
They were missing backup quarterback.
Yeah, well, that was it. Miles Richardson. What a job he did stepping in. And filling in for Dylan Mitchell. You talked about the running game. They ran the ball 58 times for 509 yards and 5 touchdowns, led by Yahir Luna, 25 carries, 268 yards and a touchdown.
Luna, the thunder and lightning running game of Valley Union. Again, you said that's going to one that they're going to look back on and really feel that they really let that one get away.
Well, for multiple reasons, they were up double digits. They were up 2 possessions multiple times in that game, and then 4 times they had touchdowns called back on offensive line penalties. Didn't get a chance to watch the broadcast back, but just unfortunate timing on those penalties.
A lot of touchdowns taken away from the Valley Union Blue Devils on those procedural penalties. Again, we got to give it up for what's that kid's name, Orozco. My God, to see you in the NFL.
We'll get to him in a second. Miles Richardson, speaking of. Also, right behind in Yahir Luna in the rushing categories, 13 carries, 91 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And remember, he was the recipient of all those touchdowns being wiped off. He would have had a 40 and a 50-yarder on that one as well. Right behind him, obviously, is Stephen De La Cruz, 14 carries, 84 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And then Angel Caprone, 6 carries for 66 yards. And that's how they got their 509 yards rushing.
Averaged 8.5 yards a run in that game. I mean, they couldn't stop them. And unfortunately, when push came to shove and they needed it, they were unable to get those first downs.
Right,
those
you said it. Richardson was dealing with cramping issues every time he was running. He'd come up with the cramps, so they couldn't use him effectively. After a while, it was just an unfortunate turn of events for the Valley Union Blue Devils. Mason Wicker, the quarterback for Desert Heights Prep, we don't normally do this, give the stats out of teams not outside or inside Cochise County. 21-35, 417 yards, 6 touchdowns. That's not the impressive thing. Josh Orozco, I know who you were looking for.
Number 17.
7 catches, 237 yards, 3 touchdowns. Defensively ended up with 20 tackles.
The kid was literally everywhere. He single-handedly defeated Valley Union.
J.P. Wildman was in our chat telling us how good the quarterback-receiver combo was before the game. And I'll tell you, it's going to be hard to replace Orozco as the 2A player of the year after that, or 1A player of the year after that performance.
Yeah, that was fun to watch. That was a great opening game. Thank you, Elfrida. Thank you, Valley Union, for being so hospitable. We'll be back for the St. David game.
Maybe. I should talk to you about that. We got 3 games going off that are going to be good. Rounding out the defense, Steven De La Cruz led the team with 7 tackles. Ivan Rosales got a sack. Marshall Larson got 2 sacks. Miles Richardson did end up with a pick, and we saw that was what was so disheartening is that defensive line just started taking the game over in the second half, but just wasn't enough.
Yeah, Marshall Larson, that was a name that we talked about before the game, and when they needed him the most, he showed up in the third and fourth quarter and made some big plays for Valley Union.
And that's going to do it for the Valley Union Blue Devils. We just mentioned the St. David Tigers, who, Dave, are all the way back.
I saw that score.
60-6 against the Centurions of Sierra Prep Academy.
Stop kicking them. They're already dead.
We finally got the name of that freshman quarterback. I'm going to try to pronounce it right. It's going to be incorrect. It's Vincent Ciccarello. Yeah, sounds right. He threw for 148 yards and 5 touchdowns for the St. David Tigers. Cedar Haney, Chase Pacheco combined for 25 carries, 157 yards and a touchdown. Grayson Merrill looking like he might be our new matrix at wide receiver. 6 catches, 100 yards, and 2 touchdowns in that game. Gannon Carafa had 2 receiving touchdowns. Roman Tilton had 2 receiving touchdowns, or 1 receiving touchdown. When you have 60 points on the board, there's a lot of touchdowns that went around for sure. Gannon Carafa, we're back with the pancake blocks. Led the team with 4 pancake blocks. Todd Pacheco, 2, and then Atticus Del Mil, who is a freshman/sophomore, had a pancake as well. So offensively, everything's rolling for St. David. Defensively, Luke Haymore led the team in tackles and tackles for loss. 14 tackles, 4 in the backfield.
Oh, that gets back. Oh, my goodness.
Chase Pacheco, as obviously we would expect, had 3 tackles for loss. Emmett Eder, we saw him in baseball season, freshman last year, sophomore this year, also 3 tackles for losses and 2 sacks in this game. So Eder's coming up, and he's going to be a force for the St. David Tigers. Chase Pacheco had a sack and a half. There we go. Isaac Wilson, Luke Haymore also contributed with the sack, and Luke Haymore filling up the box score, rounded it out with an interception for the Tigers as well.
Yeah, big game for St. David. You're looking like you're fully on track. 60-6.
Fully on track. They are the track.
Yeah. St. David. We'll see you in the playoffs. Apparently, I mean, it's only one game. It's football. It's a long season. But after that performance, St. David is looking like they are all the way on the way to the playoffs.
And I wonder if the Hayden Lobos are still in 1A because they ran over everyone on their way to the championship in 1A. So we'll have to see. But if they are, we're going to have a good game between the St. David Tigers and the Hayden Lobos for sure. Yeah,
what a great opening game for the St. David Tigers. That's how you start a season right there.
And we had 2 other games. Unfortunately, we do not have stats. Dave, tell them about it.
You know what? Thank you. You took the words right out of my mouth. So here we go again. Wilcox Cowboys, Benson Bobcats. Are you listening to me? Put your stats on Max Prep so we can talk about your kids. We know that Wilcox won. We know they beat a really good team. We just had no idea how they did it.
Yeah, let's start with the Wilcox Cowboys. Why not 18-16 over Arizona Lutheran Academy? Dave, Arizona Lutheran Academy lost 1 time last year, and it was Scottsdale Christian Academy, the eventual 2A state champions. Wilcox goes up there, and thank again to J.P. Wildman, who was giving us score updates the whole time. Wilcox was in control of the game from the word go.
Well, yeah, he said 18-16, and that was a last-minute touchdown by who was it, Arizona Lutheran? Whoever it was they beat. So like Wilcox, I mean, it had them handled. So the Wilcox Cowboys, the team that we didn't know a lot about, new coach, new system, maybe. Again, we don't know because he didn't put anything on the internet for us.
We do know, thanks to J.P. Wildman, they run the wing T offense.
So Wilcox
very
was
Wilcox-ish.
a huge win. I thought we'd love to give more shine to a lot of those kids. I think Joe Sanchez is the quarterback. We don't know. So please put your stats online so we can give some more shine to the kids.
We know Marshall Larson is cousins with the Larson in the Wilcox.
Yeah.
Travis Larson?
I don't remember.
I can't remember.
We got nothing on.
Probably should have thought about
and
that.
I know the Wilcox is watching this because we're coming out on Friday to do your game. So can you do us a favor and give us something to work with your boys so we can give them some love?
Another good team Wilcox is going up against next week. Don't have it. I forgot to write it down.
If Wilcox wins this one, they control their own fate.
Oh, absolutely.
If they win on Friday, like even at 2-0 early in the season, beating those 2 teams, they control their own fate.
So another team getting back on track this year, the Benson Bobcats take out the Shadow Mountain Matadors 27-10. Again, no stats, so we still don't even know who the quarterback is. I do follow the Benson football pages. If you guys just want to upload them to your own Facebook pages, the stats, I can get them there. I'm
Send me a
friends with
message.
everyone.
Send a carrier pigeon with a note on it that tells me anything about. Again, we know that they had them handled. We know that it was an easy game for them. We just don't know how they did it.
Yeah, exactly. You assume it's going to be more a mix of Benson Bobcat football, play actions, hopefully, and a good run game.
Yeah, it's again we got folks. You got to help us out here. Yeah, we want to talk about Wilcox and Benson, and we can't because we got nothing to talk about. We just know the scores of the games.
Good week for the Cochise County football teams. Valley Union had it in the bag, and unfortunately, there's nothing they could do. Cramps happen. We're in Arizona. There's a little bit of humidity, but some injuries, and now the game's lost.
He brought it up. He brought up the rest, not me. Normally, I'm the guilty party.
Okay, so let's go back to what I said after the game. They had 2 possessions. There's no way that you can put that on
Inside
anyone
the
but
50.
themselves.
Yeah.
And the 2-possession lead. So anyway, that's going to get us to the second part of the show. Very quickly, we're going to re-rank these teams. Dave's super excited for this one.
I don't know how. Some of them haven't played games yet, but sure.
Yeah,
Let's
no,
do
that's
this.
exactly what it's going to
But again, yeah,
So like
the
Georgia
season-
Tech and Florida State played this Friday, and so they get ranked against. Anyway, go ahead.
Kirk Herbstreit is laughing his butt off somewhere. Well, yeah, so this week is going to open up Buena Colt, Bisbee Puma, Tombstone Yellow Jacket football. I believe Marine starts this week as well. And so everybody's going to get full, if you hadn't already played their game, they're going to play this week. And so we're going to have a full sample this Friday of what's going on around here.
And we know Buena's getting covered. We know Marine's getting covered, and we're going to be in Wilcox. If anything else shows up, we'll follow Cool FM Live to get that update. But we're going to start this one off. I didn't want to put them in last place last week because we had them there during baseball. But Valley Union, without the win, they're going to be...
Again, a game that they had won several times. Great game, great opening game. Valley Union, hold your heads high. You played a great game.
I should have really thought about this. This is tough. Oh, well, we'll put ALA first, and then Valley Union comes, obviously, the American Leadership Academy. This is going to be tough.
Yeah, because nobody's played. I tried to tell them. You don't want to listen to me.
Don't want to
It's
listen.
tough because they haven't played yet.
Well, I'll tell you what right now.
So you're going to take Buena out of the number 1 spot? Because
No,
Wilcox won that game?
Buena's not getting out of the number 1 spot. Those boys, they still have me jacked up. Thanks, Scrappy.
Yeah. While we will be in Wilcox, as we always do, we'll be following Cool FM to see what's going on in that.
You know what?
game.
Let's put Benson there. They jumped a spot as they rightfully should. I'm not ready to. The book's still out on Benson. They did have a good win.
Pay attention, Bobcats.
The Wilcox Cowboys. This is gonna be tricky. Yeah, let's go Marine. Let's go Marine. And they were state champions last year. St. David, who's all the way back.
60-6.
They're in 6th. I don't know. They're not in the top 5. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry.
60-6.
I was very impressed with the Wilcox Cowboys. You know what? You're right, Dave. Let's do this. Douglas out of the top 5. Then you can put St. David in the top 5.
I was like 60-6. You better give them some kind of love here.
Then comes the Bisbee Pumas.
Well, that goes your way now.
Then the Tombstone Yellow Jackets. And Wilcox is jumping all the way up from wherever I had him last year. And then, of course, the Buena Colts coming in at number 1. I just feel like the Buena Colts with that defense and that run game and Nashmore. I'm telling you about Nashmore. He's going to take a leap. But I was no more impressed than I've been in 2 years or 3 years of watching Cochise County football than I was with the Wilcox Cowboys.
I'd love to know a little bit more about what happened to Wilcox
Yeah, no kidding,
Cowboys. So please, Coach, get somebody to put your stuff on the internet so we can give some shine to we have no idea who scored, how they did it, who's playing what positions. We need to know more about your team. Send us a message. Do anything. I say carrier pigeon. I don't care. 2
big jumpers, of course, the Wilcox Cowboys and the St. David Tigers cracking the top 5. This taking their rightful spots of where they should be legacy-wise in terms of where their teams are in the past. And here we are now. Buena, Wilcox, Tombstone, Bisbee, St. David, Douglas. I'm sorry, Douglas, but that's where Dave's right that you didn't get to play. Marine, Benson, and Valley Union. That's going to do it for the rankings. Dave, how you feel about them?
Well, again, Wilcox, huge win. If they win this Friday, again, they're writing their own ticket. Bisbee's going to be on a long trip on the road for their opening game, as I believe Tombstone is also on the road this week, I believe.
Tombstone, yes. They're Thursday.
So a couple of road games for those 2 teams. Benson, way to tell this guy that, you're the lowest ranked team in Cochise County. Big win. We'd love to know more about it. St. David, impressive. Valley Union, heartbreaker.
Let's see. We have Gerald Morgan in chat says, bring all the high school football, small Colts. I don't know what that means, but we are going to bring in all the high school football in Cochise County, including the Buena Colts. So that's going to do it for that segment. And now a brand new segment.
I'll introduce it because it has nothing to do with me. So we have a brand new segment for you.
I thought you didn't want to say the rhyme because it's so silly.
Dick. I got a 3-question quizzy for Pizzy.
Nailed it.
Again, he doesn't know what I'm going to ask him. I just like to pick his brain about certain things.
And it's football season, so you're going to get a lot better answers.
And so, with that being said, it's football season. With that being said, the Kansas City Royals are 74-58, one game out of first place. How are they doing this right now? What is going on with Kansas City Royal baseball?
So it's all about the starting pitching. We got some good relief pitching, and it's timely hitting. Now, again, Bobby Witt Jr. and Salvador Perez, there are only threats offensively. So you think about how long can this consistently offensively? How long can we go in the postseason if they can just pitch around Salvi and Bobby Witt, who do hit 2 and 3 in the lineup?
They're getting nationally televised games right now.
Oh, yeah, we
Royals
just beat the crap out of the Indians. What's up? Or the Guardians, sorry, whichever one it is now. The Cleveland Guardians. Sorry, I watched Major League.
I refuse to even say those names.
Salvador Perez a couple games ago hit a grand slam, and this isn't going to mean anything to anybody, but in Kansas City it's the Sonic Slam inning. So if someone hits a grand slam in that inning, a fan gets $20,000. The first person to ever do it. Congratulations, Salvador Perez.
Where's that Royals hat? I'm going to put that on.
It's actually in there.
Yeah, I know.
Smashed.
I was like, well, is that $20,000? Let me go and throw that. I mean, I'm a big Royals fan. Yeah.
If someone hits a home run in the inning, it's $1,000. But thank you, Sonic. I mean, we have one down here in Cochise County, so there you go. But yeah, Royals, it's exciting times. We kind of crapped the bed against, was it the Dodgers? Whoever we played before that, but now we're coming back. It's baseball, Dave. You can't win them all.
That's why I had to throw you for a loop. It's football season. Well, no, we have to talk about some Kansas City Royals baseball. The Mariners are 3 games out of first.
Thank you for talking about a baseball
Seattle.
team that I know. So that's nice of you.
The Mariners fired Scott Service, deservedly so, after losing that 20-game lead in the division.
Sorry.
Yeah, it is what it is. All right, now we can talk football. And I'm just going to throw you another softball, another easy watermelon for you to just hit out of the park. Everybody knows that the Kansas City Chiefs are
It's a Kansas City episode.
Defending Super Bowl champions. Who's their biggest threat in the AFC right now?
I was not.
Who's going to be the one that's going to threaten the Kansas City? Because it ain't anybody in the division. It ain't the Chargers. It ain't the Raiders.
And you can't default to the Bills this year because they lost so many pieces.
Yeah, the receivers and the safeties and everybody. They lost Jordan Poyer. They lost everybody.
Houston's not ready. Houston is not there. It's the second year for C.J. Stroud. They could be, though. I mean, with that young defense.
You know the saddest part is I've been trashing it for the last couple of weeks. It's New York Jets.
No.
It's the Jets. Like, they have the roster. If it's on Reddit, gets onto that field for the New York Jets. They have the team.
The New York Jets right now are the Dallas Cowboys of the AFC. It's just
I like that.
A lot of.
I like it because it's true.
Yeah, right. It's just a lot of stories coming out. None of them pertaining to football. All this hearsay. Oh, Aaron Rodgers is doing this. Aaron Rodgers is doing that. The Angels are. Gerald Morgan in the chat says the Angels are going all the way in baseball, and the Arizona Cardinals. Going to be fair? Okay, we'll see.
Did Reggie Jackson come out of retirement? Like, the Angels.
Is Kurt Warner back on the Cardinals? What's going on?
Did I miss something? The Angels?
Let's see. The Ravens. The Ravens would obviously be there if we ever could trust Lamar Jackson in the postseason. Cincinnati's getting Joe Burrow back, but the receivers are unhappy because they don't have their contracts. How are they going to take plays off? This, that, and the other. It's going to be interesting. Your New York Jets is not that bad of a pick.
Well, the other one, because they're so – I mean, we saw flashes of it last year. If they can figure this out and figure out how to play in games that are under 70 degrees, the Miami Dolphins are also terrifying at times. They were scoring 70 points a game last year for a point.
I have a feeling that the Miami Dolphins are about to be a little bit figured out. They weren't as crisp going into the last half of the season. Not even talking about the playoff game, but the games that lost them their number one seed. Like they were just faltering. So I don't know if that's teams figuring them out or what's going on with that. But I don't know if I'm not as high on the Miami Dolphins as a lot of people are.
What a segue into the third question.
I didn't answer the question. Let's just say Houston.
You're just gonna throw
Top to
again,
bottom.
What is it?
No, let's go Cincinnati. Cincinnati's the ones that have done it first. Let's keep it with the Bengals, and I hate the Bengals.
Yeah, Trey Hendrickson. You know, anytime you got a monster like that, like a Max
Sam
Crosby
Hubbard.
style monster.
Hendricks and Hubbard, they're always scary.
The stories of Max Crosby
so
out of the
bad
preseason
last
are
year, though. How
terrifying.
can you? It was so bad. I'm not going to default to the Ravens, though.
It was just a dysfunctional year last year for the Bengals. It just was one of those things.
When you lose your
Burrow
quarter,
was hurt,
when you lose your quarterback, maybe people weren't trying as hard. Anyway, go ahead. Cincinnati Bengals, number one threat to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Again, that was a heck of a segue. So we see this every year in the NFL. It's not conjuncture. It is just fact. Every year in the NFL, two teams that made the playoffs the year before don't make the playoffs the next year, and they're replaced by two other teams. Who do you like missing in the playoffs that was in the playoffs last year?
One
I
from
have
each
my
conference?
answer. I have my answer.
One from each conference.
If you want to, yeah.
Weren't the Giants in the playoffs last year, or was that 2 years ago?
No.
I don't have a team to default to.
No, last year. I think the team right now in the NFC that is severely overhyped based off of what they pulled off is the Green Bay Packers. I think the Green Bay Packers take a big step back. Jordan Love is not that guy.
We had the Packers, Lions, Niners, Eagles, Cowboys. There's 7 teams now, right? In the postseason, that's 5, so we need 2 more.
Oh, the Buccaneers.
There's your answer. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Sorry,
Baker
Coach Sean
Mayfield?
Hawley. Sorry, Coach Hawley. Well, here's the thing, too, is you got to remember the Chicago Bears do have a great roster. I don't care what anyone said. Like, everyone's so high on Caleb Williams.
Super.
Everyone's so high on Caleb Williams right now. The highlight plays are there. We all knew he had the highlight plays, but he still threw for like 50% completed passes in the preseason against defenses that are vanilla and don't even have their starters out there half the time. So, I think the Bears are going to take a leap. It's just how big a leap. Do they get in that postseason? I'm not necessarily sure they do, because you remember it took the Lions 2 years from when we thought they could get there. Now the Lions are in the NFC Championship. I would definitely say the Buccaneers aren't going to the playoffs next year, though.
And again, it's always a surprise. You never know who it's going to be. There's a team right now that is so hot. If I had to predict a team in the AFC that is going to falter and not do as well as they did last year, the Houston Texans.
Wasn't Pittsburgh in the playoffs last year?
No. I know they went 9-8, but they didn't. I don't think they made the playoffs.
Was it the Browns that made it?
Yeah,
Browns made it? Okay.
I think
who'd you just say?
The Houston Texans have a very young team. There's a very high possibility that they could just fall on their faces, with that heavy level of expectation.
It's a full season of C.J. Stroud that defensive coaches have film on. It's a full season of the system.
Right.
They're going to find out the tendencies, and you're going to have to adjust. Even the best have to adjust. The Buffalo Bills last year with Josh Allen had to run the ball to win. Was it 3 years ago? The league thought Patrick Mahomes figured out he had to adjust. Even the great ones have to.
I think half the AFC could have that turnover, where we're going to see like 4 new teams in the playoffs this year that weren't there last year. The AFC North has the capability of any of that team.
I'm going to throw you a question after I answer the question. So let's go over the AFC playoff teams last year: Miami, Buffalo,
Chiefs, Houston,
Indy. Houston, Baltimore. Indy was in there.
Didn't they?
No, didn't
they?
No,
Jacksonville.
No, Jacksonville wasn't in there.
Jacksonville and the Chargers, because the Chargers were up 27.
That was 2 years ago.
No, it wasn't. That was last year.
Chargers didn't make the playoffs last year. See where we're at, dude? We should prepare for these things.
It all kind of mixes together at some point.
Yeah, it was just Houston out of the South, and it was Baltimore. I think Pittsburgh. There's no way Pittsburgh made it, did they?
Are you sure that Jacksonville Charger game didn't happen last year?
Pittsburgh.
That's why they gave Lawrence the extension, because he won that game. They were down 27.
No, that was 2 years ago. That was Justin Herbert's choke. Remember last year the Chargers were like 4-win team, 5-win.
My brain doesn't work anymore.
I would say the Steelers. If the Steelers were in the playoffs last year, they're not making it this year. And if it's not the Steelers, I would bet my bottom dollar the Browns would make it.
In their preseason game, they had 6 possessions combined between Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, and they scored 3 points and had less than 200 yards.
So if it's not Pittsburgh, I would say that if Pittsburgh was in the playoffs last year,
Buffalo's an easy answer right there.
No, I don't think. I think Buffalo gets there. It's because you think the Jets are so high. Everyone's high on the Dolphins. They think the Bills are going to falter. I think the Bills are still favorites in that division.
If Josh Allen is who you have said that he is, he doesn't have the weapons anymore. He's not one-man gang good enough to get that.
It's not about his throwing ability. Steelers was not in the playoffs last year, so we'll just go with the Cleveland Browns. We'll default to Cleveland Browns. Thank you for whoever that was. I lost the comment. But
I don't know.
Thank you, Gerald Morgan.
They said Bill Cosby's returned to form. I mean, Deshaun Watson has returned to form.
That's why I didn't pick him. Nick Chubb's going to be out for the first 4 weeks or whatever. So
yeah, he's on the pup. Yeah, that freak.
So
Nick Chubb is a freak.
I would take the Dolphins if I didn't. Man, maybe I should take the Dolphins, but that would just seem like a hater. That would be a two.
There's not enough talked about Mike McDaniel's transition as a human being.
The kingpin.
he turned from a guy that works at a Staples into a guy that might get 5 to 10 in South Florida.
Who else went to the playoffs last year? Whatever, dude. It's the Browns. Browns aren't making the playoffs this year with Myles Garrett and all that team. I don't know what to tell you. It's a crapshoot. Someone that was really good is not making the playoffs. So that's going to do it for the 3 quizzies for Pizzy. But Dave, I want you to sit there and tell us why the Los Angeles Chargers are not making the playoffs this year.
Wow. How much time you got, folks? I've been saying this since he got into the league. Justin Herbert is fraudulent. He's Jay Cutler. It's the same guy. They lost all of their key position players on offense. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler. They're running J.K. Dobbins, who has coming off of 17 straight major leg injuries. The Chargers have got nothing left. They have Khalil Mack and busted Bosa. My friend. Yes. My current prediction to not make the playoffs, the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love is not enough on the kid.
Yeah, you said there's not enough. Gerald Morgan in the chat says the Dolphins are going to make the playoffs, so we shall see, won't we?
Oh, that's the whole beauty of the thing is nobody knows. I personally think the Rams are going to be the worst team in the NFC West.
There's a lot of people that have the Rams going to the Super Bowl.
Well, I like the Cardinals are sneaky good. The Seahawks are sneaky good. But yeah, the Chargers. They got Khalil Mack, who's about my age now. Joey Bosa, who you can never count on to be there. All those safeties they give all that money to are not worth a nickel. And so now we're running back the same kid that can't win in the playoffs, that's never won in the playoffs, with no skill position players.
They got Jim Harbaugh.
Who?
They got Jim Harbaugh. What are you talking about,
Awesome.
Dave? He's won everywhere. Look, I just wanted you to throw that one because this is, 7 straight divisions we've won, and this is the 7th straight time that the Chargers have been AFC West favorites. So
if you haven't had your fantasy draft yet and you draft Justin Herbert, don't come blaming me. Don't come whining to me when you win 2 games this year.
That's going to do it for all of our football talk. We are about to head out of here, but before we do, he's ranting, he's raving. It's what we call Dave, and it's time for Dave's diatribe. Dave, take it away.
To quote Marshall Mathers from his 3rd album, just when you know that it's over, just admit that you're at its end. Just admit it. This weekend we had a boxing match between Floyd Mayweather and John Gotti III. This is becoming what was once the greatest boxer of all time. Has turned into a circus. He's turned into an absolute spectacle. John Gotti III is actually John Gotti's grandson. Really? That's who this guy is fighting. He's going in there like a circus clown. In the 2nd round of that fight, Floyd Mayweather hit John Gotti III in the back of his head with a punch. The referee came over and warned Floyd Mayweather, don't do that. Floyd Mayweather, being Floyd Mayweather, fired the referee in the middle of the fight and brought in a new referee in the 3rd round just so he could have his way. It's a joke. Okay, Floyd Mayweather, you were once great. You need to stop doing this. Stop wasting our time with this nonsense fighting John Gotti's grandkid. Apparently he needs the money. Apparently Floyd Mayweather didn't make enough as a boxer in his professional career where we're pulling this nonsense out. Do you want to box me? Can I box Floyd Mayweather? You can hit me in the back of the head. It's fine. I don't care. But if you're just going to keep going around fighting bums, I'd like to be next in line. I could use the money.
Mayweather's like 50 now.
I don't know what he's still doing in that ring. I heard about that fight, and then I saw what happened. I was like, you got to be kidding me. It's a spectacle. So if Floyd Mayweather, if you were here, I would look down a foot lower than me and say it right to your face. I'd be like, look here, Floyd. Guy's about 4'9".
All right, great show, great diatribe, Dave. Thank you to Gerald Morgan, who is in our chat and being active. We do appreciate it. It gives an extra color and context to our chat when we're just not rambling on, and at least someone enjoys us. But that's going to do it here for us at beautiful Pueblo del Sol Golf Course, Dave.
Oh, no, soon to be Sierra Vista Golf Center at Pueblo del Sol. They're not doing the Friday dinner special as new management will be taking over in the next week or two. They are still doing a Sunday brunch that I know you did a feature on.
Steak and eggs, country fried steak and eggs.
Yeah.
Come on.
So they do have the Sunday brunch available. Again, look behind me, folks. It's available to non-members. Jerry's calling them out on the tee box right now. Come down here and enjoy yourself at Pueblo del Sol. It's soon to be Sierra Vista Golf Center at Pueblo del Sol.
It's going to be a golf. I'm excited for that driving
See you in
range.
Wilcox.
See you in Wilcox. Absolutely. Thank you again to Synergy Home Care, our namesake sponsor. When you need to find care for someone you love, it's important that it feels right. Synergy Home Care has the best tools, resources, specialized training, and caregiver compassion, and marketer. Just kidding. all in one place. Give them a call at 520-685-1035. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We will see you in Wilcox.